Hello my yarny friends. Today you're yarny friends because today we're doing a yarn haul. We're not crocheting, we're not knitting, we're not doing cross stitch or embroidery or quilting. We're doing a yarn haul. So you guys are my yarny friends today. So today being Friday, March 15th. Does that sound right? Yes. Friday, March 15th. Okay, so if you guys have been around for a while, you know that in 2023 I went through a great yarn purge, okay, to get rid of things that just no longer made me happy. And yarn that I knew I wasn't ever going to get to, I bought it because I could, because I have an income that allows me to do that, because the stores were having a sale, because I wanted it. So much so that it took over my house, and it affected my living space and my family's living space. So I had finally decided to do something about it and confront my shopping compulsion and my hoarding issues. So now when I buy yarn, I buy it specifically for a project that's going to be done almost right away. I have very strict guidelines now for when I am out at the stores shopping. Okay, very, very strict guidelines. Someday I'll give them to you, but for today, let's do the happy stuff and not the stuff I have to work at every day. The happy stuff, which is the yarn stuff. Okay, so back in December, actually October, November, December of 2023, I was working on a Christmas tree skirt, because my husband and I have been doing a woodland creature theme on our Christmas tree for like the last 2 years. And my Christmas tree skirt is a bright emerald green with white, and I wanted something different. And I couldn't find anything in the stores that I liked. So I have a Christmas tree skirt pattern I've been making since 1989. It's not mine. I didn't design it. I got it out of a magazine called Work Basket, and I've been making it since then. So it's my tree skirt pattern, but I didn't design it. It came out of a magazine, but I have made it mine. So I wanted to do a brown colored Christmas tree skirt that would go well with our woodland creature theme that we have going on our tree. And I was at Joann's one day, and well, my favorite shades of brown are from Red Heart Super Saver. Warm brown, cafe, latte, but the warm brown was my favorite, only to find out that they went and discontinued it, and I don't understand why. It was a perfect shade of brown. It wasn't dark, it wasn't light, it was right in the middle, and it literally was a warm shade of brown. And they discontinued it, and what I had in my stash it wasn't enough, because I actually still have a yarn stash. I kept yarn that makes me completely happy, and it's not all that big of a yarn stash. It takes up a bookshelf in my corner, and a few loose bins in the front. Okay, I probably still have a little more than I should, but you guys, if you're struggling with cleaning out some of your crafting supplies, go back and watch my videos from January, February, March of 2023. It might help you find some motivation and encouragement to clean out what you're not using, okay, and be realistic with yourself. So go watch those videos. So anyway, when I was in Joann's, I found this shade of brown from their Big Twist line, and it's called Camel, and it's a good alternative since Red Heart's not making the warm brown color anymore. So I had bought this shade of brown to help me along with my Christmas tree skirt, which I've put off to the side for a couple months. I'm not ready to get back to it yet, so I will let you guys know when I do. So I have some brown, but most of the yarn that I have been picking up, that I have been buying, it's only been the last 2 or 3 months, and it's for my patchwork squares. Okay, it is to make more patchwork squares blankets, and maybe some granny square blankets, and maybe some corner to corner square blankets. Okay, so I have a very big yarn stash of variegated yarns. It turns out they are my favorite yarn to buy, because they're so pretty when they're all rolled up in a skein, aren't they? Oh, they're so pretty. Then I had a very big stash sitting in a cabinet with doors that close so the cats can't eat all the little yarn tails, right? I've had cats my whole life, and I've crocheted practically my whole life, and I've never had cats eat my yarn. Play with it, yes, but not eat it until Arlo and Bandit. My goodness, those two eat yarn like crazy, and it's not good for them. It can get twisted up in their digestive tract, and it can cause a lot of harm. But for some reason, these two cats, there's something wrong with them. They may be special, and they may be lovable, but they are dumb eating yarn the way they do. So I actually have to keep my yarn behind closed doors now, and I've never had to do that before. So I had a very big stash of variegated yarns. One of you ladies in the comments asked me how many colors I had and what I was working with. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't count them, and I'm afraid to count them because it's a lot. And even with giving a box away for a giveaway for reaching 4,000 subscribers and making up a box and selling it, I still have a lot of variegated yarn. I'm not even using everything that's up in the cabinet. I haven't even touched everything in the cabinet yet. And you've seen how many videos I've done in these last couple weeks of making squares. I'm not even close to going through all of it yet. But I wanted some newer colors to add to my collection, because a lot of it can be vintage. It can be older manufactured. It can be a bit scratchy and a bit rough and works up a bit stiff. And the newer yarns are a heck of a lot softer. And I love lots of color. With the yarn I've been working with, I haven't come across one that I didn't like. That Painted Desert is a little too brown for me, but it was okay. I was surprised at how well it did work up. So when I have been out at Michael's or Joann's or my thrift stores, because my thrift stores are a wonderful source for finding yarns, I've been picking up variegated yarns, and specifically for making patchwork squares. And then I have branched out, because like the patchwork square is my own pattern design, but I've also branched out into making the traditional granny square and making corner to corner in a 4-inch square. So that will help me use up all of my variegated yarn, because I would love to use up what I have and then fill my cabinet right back up so I can do this again next year. Because making patchwork squares, oh my goodness, it's so much fun for me, because I like moving from one color to the next. And I like spending just 10 minutes making a square, and then I can go back to doing household chores or picking somebody up or something. It's just that little bit of crochet that you can squeeze into a very busy day, and you can just have 10 minutes of peace. And then when you're done, you've got this tiny, cute little square that is just waiting for you to stitch it up into a blanket. But so I have been shopping, but it's very controlled shopping. It's not out of control like it has been for me in the past. And I have picked up some newer variegated colors. All right, I think I have shown some of this in one of my previous videos, so if I have, please forgive me for doing it again. It's just I lose track of my own videos. I don't go back and watch them. I really don't. I see it when I'm doing edits, but then when I'm done, I'm done. It goes completely out of my head. But I think I did show you this one from Karen Simply Soft. They call it Speckle, and the color is vintage. It is a tan shade with speckles of very muted blues, yellows, greens, and a reddish kind of pink, like a brick red maybe. I love this. I think what I'm going to do with this is use this as my yarn to stitch my patchwork squares together. And by stitch them together, I mean I crochet them together, like holding two squares together and doing a single crochet to put them together. I think I'm going to be using this for that. Okay, and then when I have been buying yarn, I've been buying two skeins, one to keep for myself and one to stick in a box so I can sell it or give it away. This is another one from Big Twist, which is Joann's store brand. Retro Pop, that's its color. I really am all about those retro colors and vintage colors. But I think I had shown that to you guys too. This one from Loops and Threads, Impeccable. Its color is called, oh yeah, that's right. It only has a color number, 02035. That's adorable. I love that. And all of this yarn is a number 4 medium weight, or back in the day we used to call it worsted weight or Aran weight. We should do a video about that sometime, about how crochet terminology, some terminology has changed over the years. It really has. Oh, okay, so I have 2 of these from Loops and Threads. And there's the label. Okay. But yeah, terminology has definitely changed over the years. Do I only have one of that? It's Red Heart Super Saver. Is that upside down? Oh my gosh. There we go. And it's called Wildflowers. I'm really liking this color. I did only buy, it looks like I've only bought 1 skein of this. I'll have to fix that. I'll have to go out and buy another one. Okay. More Loops and Threads. This is their version of Caron Simply Soft. They call it Soft and Shiny, but it very similar to Caron Simply Soft. And they called this Circus Multi. And I do have 2 skeins of that. That's pretty. When I'm done with the yarn, holding it up to you, I don't stick it back in the bag. Just throw it on the couch and I'll get it later. All right, here is a color from Caron Simply Soft. It is called Rainbow Bright. Funny thing is, I actually think I've got more of this. It's just not in this bag. But this, I really like this because it's got pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. It does have the whole rainbow in there. Rainbow Bright. Oh, I love that. So here's the label. Caron Simply Soft. And it's called Rainbow Bright. Number 4 medium weight yarn. Okay, now these next 3 are all from Big Twist from Joann's. This color, they call this Rainbow Bright. It's got a little bit of black in there, kind of like the black light color from Red Heart Super Saver. That's what this one reminds me of. It reminds me of the Red Heart. And then we've got the color called Warm Brights, which I'm really liking that. I don't find too many yellow variegated yarns, and I like that yellow is the predominant color in this. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. And then this one, which is a bit pastel, it's called Happy Rainbow. Happy Rainbow, people. Oh, we should have t-shirts that say Happy Rainbow. Yes. And the t-shirts should be in these colors. We need Happy Rainbow t-shirts. Okay, so I have a color from Red Heart. It's Red Heart Classic, and I had found it in my thrift store in these tiny little skeins, like 3-ounce skeins, and it's called Berries. And thankfully, one of you wonderful viewers out there told me that Walmart, in the Walmart brand of yarn called Mainstays, had a color that was very similar to the Red Heart Classic. So I'm not a Walmart shopper. My Walmart is, actually I've got like 3 Walmarts in my area because I'm in the suburbs, you know. I don't typically shop at Walmart. It's not my kind of store. So I went to my local Walmart, which is near my Home Depot, and I'm always at Home Depot because we've got house projects going on. So yeah, I did find some Mainstays. I've got their purple blend. I bought 2 skeins of their purple blend. So here, there's their label, and there's the color right here. You know, it feels like Red Heart Super Saver. But purple blends. So I'm looking forward to trying this yarn out. I've never used the Walmart Mainstays, but They did have a color that is very similar to the berries from Red Heart, and they call it the pink blend. I mean, the berries from Red Heart is deeper and it's more of a jewel tone, while this is a bit more brighter. But I mean, it's close. It's just they're different shades, different tones, and different undertones. So I like it. It's a very good alternative, since Red Heart Classic is not making this color anymore, and you find it on eBay and people want $20 for a little 3-ounce skein. So I did get 2 of these, 2 of them, from Walmart. And the Walmart pricing on these was not too bad. They were, I want to say under $3. $2.98, $2.97, $2.95, something like that. I think they were just under $3. So I mean, and it's how many ounces? Yards. 5 ounces, 141 grams, 285 yards, 260 meters. So yeah, I mean, that's not a bad deal. Just under $3 for this amount of yarn. So, you know, Walmart does carry Red Heart Super Saver, and some Lion Brand, and some Karen. I think my Walmart has a small yarn section, and it had a lot of empty shelves in there. But I did find some Red Heart Super Saver in stripes, and it's called the Bonbon print. The Bonbon print. Now, I've had this before in the past. I really do enjoy working with it. I think I'm all out of Bonbon print, and so I bought 2 skeins of it, and these were just around the same price as the Mainstays, I want to say. I think they were about $3 a piece. So, I mean, I enjoy the colors in the Bonbon. So those 6 skeins, 3 colors, I got from Walmart. Okay? And then I went to Joann's again, because Joann's was having, this is so bad. This is probably one of the worst reasons to shop. They were having a doorbuster sale where their yarns were like 40% off, 50% off. And I knew that I wanted more variegated colors to go into my stash while I'm making all these patchwork squares. And I bought a lot of yarn. I wrote myself some notes. Of course, I'm always writing myself notes and putting them away and losing them. You know what? Give me a minute to take all this out of the bag so it doesn't do all that crinkling noise. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. Now we got it sitting in a different bag that doesn't do any crinkling. It's actually a fabric bag. All right. So I was back at Joann's because they were having a really good deal on yarn. Now I did write down the prices. Unfortunately, they're not having the doorbuster sale anymore, but I mean, if you guys shop at Joann's, you know these things, right? Like the Karen Simply Soft, it was $5.49, but I paid $4.39. Red Heart was $4.49 and I paid $3.59. The Big Twist was $4.49 and I paid $2.99. So those are some good sale prices. And I was going specifically to pick up black so I can put black on my granny squares. So I did get 2 skeins of black at Joann's, okay? And then I bought their creamy white that they call ivory to make corner to corner squares. So I'm gonna alternate between corner to corner in the creamy white and then variegated, creamy white and variegated, and do an alternating pattern with it. And I bought 3 skeins of that so I would have enough. But with their with the variegated, turns out I really liked this rainbow bright color from Karen Simply Soft, so I bought 2 more. I'm really enjoying this rainbow bright color. So I bought 2 more. All right. And then they had some of Super Saver in, it's called Artist Print. I love the muted color of this. I really do. So it's got purples and blues and greens, yellow that goes into a pink, but where the yellow and pink go together, it's kind of got a peachy orange color. I really like this. So it's called Artist Print, and since I'm picking up 2 at a time, 1 for me and 1 to share with you guys. And then they had this color from Super Saver. It is called Monet. Now, I have used Monet before. Monet, thankfully, is one of the colors that Red Heart, when they came out with it, they didn't discontinue it, and they did, and I didn't know about it. But it seems as though they keep making it, because my first corner-to-corner blanket that I had made, where I had to learn how to do the pattern myself by reading the written word, I used Monet from Super Saver. My mom actually has that blanket at her house. I made that blanket like 15 years ago. So Monet is a color that Red Heart still consistently makes. And I love it. Again, these muted shades. They're so pretty. So I bought 2 of those. And let's see, I wanted to try out the Big Twist version of, it's called Shine. It's their version of Caron Simply Soft, and the color is titanium, which is just a dark gray. Because the dark gray actually lends itself really well to stitching the squares together, as it is in my other Patchwork Squares blanket. So I just wanted to try out their version of Caron Simply Soft. Because I know there are some people out there who really don't like Caron Simply Soft because it splits. Now, yes, it does, just not all the time. Sometimes when they twist their yarns in the manufacturing plant, they don't twist it tight enough, so then it's very loose, and your hook will always go through those 4 strands of fibers. And it's a shame that it's got to be like that, because it's not like that on every skein of yarn, but it can be like that on a lot of them. But I actually did not use Caron Simply Soft in the 80s and the 90s. It wasn't until 2010 or so when I finally started using it and learned to compensate for how it splits all the time, because I love the color selection that Caron has in their Simply Soft line. I loved it so much that I actually went out in like 2015 or so and bought 1 skein of every single color that they made at the time, and it was like 90 colors, I think, and I actually still have some of it to this day. I used most of it in a temperature blanket that's on my bed. I'll have to show you my temperature blanket, along with my Sophie, my Ubuntu, my husband's blanket. There's plenty of blankets around my house that we use that are not in my project pile that I never think about showing you guys. So that is my yarn haul for today. Let's count those up and see how many we have, okay? Okay, so it's not the best angle for filming because I actually have 2 windows behind my couch, and the way they throw light in, it's not always the best. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 23 variegated colors, and 2 that were solids. Oh, and the black and the ivory that I have. So 3, 4, 5, 7 solids. So that's not too much, I don't think, because I plan on using this between now and October. Okay, and I also plan on putting another box together so everybody can share in my yarny goodness. But what color do I want to work with today? I need some brightness today. So I'm thinking one of these. This one, this one, this one. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to work with those today. And a clip of my Patchwork Squares blanket on the couch. My husband and I fight over it at night. It really does keep our feet warm. It's actually not big enough for him. It's perfect size for me. It's not big enough for him. I might need to make one just for him. But there's my Patchwork Squares blanket on the couch. And this is what the backside looks like. Yeah, I crochet everything together with a single crochet. Some of these colors are very vintage, very much from my grandma's stash. I have more yarn since I'm trying to be very honest and open and transparent. My mom sent me 2 boxes of yarn in the mail because she's not going to use this. This is what is this? Hirschner's. They're Afghan yarn. I actually have a whole bunch of this to finish a blanket that I was working on. So she sent me what she has. And yeah, she sent it in the mail because I can't get to her house often. And baby version, I think it's got some sparkle in it. And some mill ends down there on the bottom. This box here that's got some Red Heart Super Saver that's just white. Odd Lot Skeins by Famous Mill. This looks like some very vintage stuff. And one last little skein of variegated yarn, and it's cotton. I'm thinking about using this to crochet something for my seatbelt in my minivan because it's always bothering my neck. Thought this might be a good, because it's nice and soft. So yeah, 2 boxes from my mom. Okay, yeah, those 2 boxes from my mom showed up yesterday. She lives in New Jersey, and it's a 45-minute car ride, so I understand why she sent it to me in the mail. And she also made a dinosaur hat for my 17-year-old, because my 17-year-old is going through a dinosaur phase. And she made the hat black, and it's got these dinosaur spikes on it, and she did them in rainbow color. I can't show it to you yet in this video because my 17-year-old has it, and it's probably in their room, so I'll have to get them to bring it down and show it to you, because when I saw my mom was making the hats for my younger nephews, I'm like, cool, my 17-year-old would probably enjoy one of those. So that was in the box too, and I very much, Mom, if you're watching, I appreciate you doing the hat. The smile on the kid's face when they put it on, oh my goodness, they love it. Okay, so thank you. So my Patchwork Squares blanket that I made many years ago, it literally is a scrap blanket. Every square that's in that blanket was a rolled up ball of yarn. Whether it was a tiny little ball of yarn like this or a bigger ball of yarn like this, the whole Patchwork Square blanket is leftover yarns that I just crocheted until I didn't have anything left. If I couldn't get a full square out of this, I actually saved it. I still have them from 2011. I have a baggie left of little leftovers. Until one of you gave me the idea to go ahead and put all those leftovers in a square. Why I never thought about that, I'll never know. Because sometimes you're too close to it. So thank you to one of you who said just take all those little itty bitty leftovers, tie them all together in a knot, and make a square out of them. You can get 3 or 4 colors in one square, and that's really cool. I appreciate that. I'm always learning something new every day. Every day learning something new. So the original Patchwork Squares blanket, it is all leftovers. When I crocheted them together using a single crochet, I used leftover Karen Simply Soft, and I've got 3 colors. There's 2 shades of green and a shade of country blue, I think is what I used to stitch it all together. And then the border that I put on it, that's light gray, medium gray, and dark gray, that's all done in half double crochets. That was all leftovers too. It's leftover Bernat Super Value. The whole blanket is a scrappy project. And yet this time around, I'm actually using brand new yarns. Now, yes, some of it is vintage yarn, but it's vintage yarn that's never been used. So for the most part, I'm using like brand new yarns, even though some of it is vintage. And I feel kind of weird because I'm so used to doing it with leftovers that this time around, I don't have to do that. I'm going to be the one creating the leftovers. so this way I'll get more blankets out of it. I can't wrap my mind around that. Oh, so for all of you out there who are buying brand new yarns to make a scrappy project, that's okay. I'm doing the same thing. For all of you who are trying to work through your stash and not buying any yarn, that's okay too. That's okay too, because that's what we should all be doing sometimes, is using up what we have before buying new stuff. Any way you want to work this project, it's okay. Okay, if somebody's got something to say to you, point them in my direction and I will set them straight for you if you can't do it. Because I know a lot of people are not confrontational. Me, I'm confrontational. I don't like people telling me what to do and how to do it. If you want to show me what you're doing, absolutely. Just don't tell me I'm doing it wrong when I'm doing it my way. So however you are working this project, whether you are using brand new yarn from the store, that's okay. If you're using leftover yarn in your stash, that's okay too. It's wonderful either way, because you are doing something beautiful. We are making fun little patchwork squares. Some of us are making the granny squares. Some of us are putting a little edge and a border on it so it's easier to stitch them together later. Some of us are like, oh no, I am not touching those corner to corner. No way, no how. And then some of us are like, how do you do that? I want to do that. And then others are like, I know the corner to corner. That's cute. I'm going to make it. I love it. So, play to your strengths and don't worry about what anybody else is saying. Don't worry about other people who just don't know. Okay. So I'm here to tell you it's okay. And you are awesome for being you. You are awesome for doing it your way. Your way is not wrong. It's different, maybe. It's not wrong. So do it your way. Okay. You can tell it really bothers me when people tell you how to do things or that you're doing it wrong. It really bothers the crap out of me. So that is my public service announcement for today. Arlo is walking around. When I have this camera out, he is sitting over there. He's sitting over there, sitting over there, and right now he's sitting right behind us. You guys ready? Stay, baby. Now that is my bookshelf of yarn in there in the back. And these are my bins that I just didn't have room to put them on the shelf. Now I do need to get back there and organize. But Arlo sits there and he wags that tail. He wags his tail like a dog. But isn't he awesome? He loves the love. Arlo, say hi to everybody. Ah, there we go. See how he wags? See how he flicks his tail? He does that almost all the time. So the funny thing about Arlo is when I'm done with the camera and I put the camera away, I turn it off, put it away, go to my computer to do edits and all that, he'll go lay down somewhere. He really loves to be around me when I'm filming. He's so funny. So the other cat is Bandit. Send some love Bandit's way. He's feeling a little left out. He doesn't like to be on camera, but he's a good cat. Actually, both of them. Here's the story. All right, I had two cats, Jake and Harvey. Jake was 15 years old and passed in 2019, in July of 2019. I had Jake for 15 years. Jake was my heart and soul. He was my white cat with black tabby tiger markings on him. If I can find a picture on my computer, I'll put it right here, okay? So I got Jake in January 2006. He was already a year and a half old, and he was an old soul. And he was an old man from the day I got him. And he was just awesome. The purr on him. He was tall for a cat. He was big for a cat. For a domestic short hair, he was long and tall, and he was solid. And he was a lap cat. Always in the lap, sleeping. Okay? It was one of those things where you would just sit and not move so Jake can keep taking his nap. He had nicknames. He was Big Jake. He was Jakey. He was Jake or Jake. Yeah, Jake was the best, and I was devastated when he passed. He had stomach cancer. He lost a lot of weight. He went from being a 15-pound cat to a 7-pound cat. They came out to the house to put him down, and I was devastated. My heart broke, and I'm like, no more cats. And Harvey was with us, and I said, no more cats. I can't, no more. Harvey had been with us. He was full on tiger tabby. Bit of an attitude, that one. We got him in April 2008, I want to say. So when he passed, he was 12. No, but he had a heart condition. Turns out we didn't know he had a heart condition. So it went undetected for years. So Harvey died a year after Jake did in 2020. And towards the end, in the last year or two of Harvey being alive, he became a lap cat. He wasn't always a bit standoffish, but he was still a good cat. He's the kind of cat that wanted to be outside all the time, but we couldn't let him because we have animals outside, and I didn't want anything to happen to him. But he got out. He did a few tomcatting things before he got neutered. There's a cat that's still walking around in the neighborhood that is this spitting image of Harvey. So we put food outside for him and call him Fluffy Cat. But oh my goodness, if he isn't a dead ringer for my cat Harvey, I'm pretty sure Harvey was his father. So it was hard losing Jake in 2019 and Harvey in 2020. It was hard, and I never wanted another cat ever again. But my younger children, my daughters, they had come to me before Harvey had passed and said that they would like to have a cat of their own. They were feeling kind of left out because I'm the cat person, and they wanted one of their own. And they'd found one at the Bucks County SPCA here in Pennsylvania. They found one online. His name was Arlo. He was in the Quakertown shelter, and they asked if we can go see him. Pandemic is going on and everything. You had to call, make an appointment. It's like an hour car ride from our house, and we went, and my youngest opened up the cage in the cat room, and Harvey came out just purring, walked up on her shoulders and sat on her shoulders, and she says, "Mom, I'm in love. We have to take him home." And that was it. We brought Arlo home. He was a little older than a year, maybe a year and a half old. We think Arlo had been abused in his previous home because he's very hand shy. Whenever you go to reach to touch his head, he would shrink. And he's very much a fraidy cat. Noises in the house would startle him and make him jump and run away. So we've had him, 3.5 years now, and Arlo has helped heal my heart and my soul from Jake and Harvey. Turns out I do have room in my heart for another cat. And that's where Bandit comes in. Bandit was at the Quakertown shelter at the same time. He was 3 months old. He had just had his neuter surgery done. He was in the cage across the room from Arlo, and he had the loudest purr I have ever heard, even louder than my man Jake. So loud, sounds like a motorboat and a motorcycle, and he was just so loud. And I took one look at him, and my heart I melted. And that's why we call him Bandit, because he went and stole my heart that day in the shelter. I wasn't there for another cat. I was there to take my 2 girls to go find a cat of their own. They found Arlo, and I found Bandit. And that cat stole my heart. I've never had an orange tabby cat before, and Bandit's got 4 white paws. He's got a little bit of white on his chest, and boy, does he have attitude. He's a full-on ginger. I had no idea what I was getting into. But in the 3 years that he's been here, 3.5 years, he's turning into a little love muffin. He really is. He'll come and sit on my chest and he'll purr. He won't stay long, and he doesn't tolerate a lot of petting. Bandit really does not like to be touched. That's why he's not in the videos often. He doesn't like to be touched, but he will sit with me, and I just adore him to pieces. So that's the stories on Bandit and Arlo. Wait, I gotta sneeze. Hold on. Allergy season. Oh my goodness. So those are our cat babies. I've always been a cat person. I've always had cats my whole life, and I didn't think I could do it after Jake and Harvey, and Arlo and Bandit did it. They helped heal my heart. So I'm glad that you guys love Arlo as much as I do. He's come a long way. He can now tolerate being pet on his head as long as we're gentle and we ask permission first. We respect Arlo's boundaries with being touched, since we think he was abused, and that's such a shame. We do what we can about loud noises so he doesn't get so startled, and we introduce him to new things slowly. And we definitely respect his boundaries. Now, Bandit, everybody will just pick him up, love him, and then put him down, because that's all he will tolerate. So that's it for me today. That was a nice yarn haul. I'm really liking the colors that I picked up. Those rainbow bright colors are really calling to me, sitting on the couch like that. So I think I'm going to go work with some yarn today. I hope you guys are doing well. I want to thank you for all the comments down in the comment section. You guys are awesome. You really, truly are. You have no idea the impact that you have on me and how much you mean to me. I care, and I see you, and I want to thank you for seeing me and for being here every day. Okay. Oh my God, I'm going to cry. Yeah, this YouTube channel, it's one of the best things I ever did in my life. Was I scared to sit in front of the camera all those years ago? Yeah, and I don't think I'm the prettiest person in the world, but you know what? You guys, you make it so easy sometimes, so I want to thank you for all of that. It wasn't easy to do this, but I think I finally found my stride, you know? So, no more crying for today. Oh my goodness, I need a cat. Okay. I'm not crying. You're crying. All right. So, you know, I love you guys always and forever. I love you guys. And hopefully our next video will be laying the squares out on a bed and getting better measurements on how many squares we need for a blanket. Okay. That should be the next video. All right. I love you guys. Keep being awesome. Keep being you. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Okay, guys, so the kid came home. This is the dino hat. It's done in black. And it's got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. How cute is that? Say hi to my baby. Okay, so how cute is my baby, right? So my mom made the hat, and it's so cute. So stinking cute. I forgot that there's actually some more yarn that I have picked up from my local thrift store. I was at 2nd Avenue Thrift, which is near the Oxford Valley Mall in Langhorne, PA. Okay, and one of you ladies who lives close enough has been there, told me that they finally made their own yarn section. And I went and checked it out. It's in where they keep the sheets and the blankets. And I found some yarn. Now, most of it is solid colors, but I did find one variegated color that I picked up. So, let's take a look at that real quick. Oops. Okay, so they had some Red Heart. And this is a peach color. It's peach pastel. This is Bernat Softy Baby. I love this stuff. It's their antique white color. Red Heart Super Saver in their aqua turquoise, so half turquoise, half aqua. Okay, and then this, it was sitting right here on the shelf behind me, and I'm looking at it while I'm doing edits, and I totally forgot. They had these two in a baggie together, so it's Baby Bee Sweet Delight Chunky from Hobby Lobby, and then they had this Karen Simply Soft Prince in this red color that I absolutely adore. They call it Sunset. Now, I did check Karen's website. They don't make this color anymore, but they still make a line of yarn called Prince. They just don't have this color anymore. So there we go. Now that is the end of this video. I'll see you guys later.